We're joined today by singer David Watson. He's from the Minnesota band A Rising Force. They've got several shows coming up this summer in Minnesota, and their new album Eclipse is out now. David, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah. I wouldn't miss it for the world. This is great. I was perusing your website and I was listening to your interview with Ian Anderson, one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was kind of a coup for us to get him on. I appreciate you checking it out.
Of course. Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, first of all, can you tell us a bit about your band, A Rising Force, maybe for the listeners out there who maybe haven't discovered you yet?
Certainly. The band's not that old. It's probably about 3 years in inception. I'm the new guy in the band. The previous singer for the first album left. He had too much on his plate with his family and another project. So they called me up to come in to do this album. So this is my first album with them. They recruited me back in September, October of this past year. And it's been pretty nice because it's just taken off. I mean, we just finished the album probably December, January, right around there, and then released it June 3rd. And it's going pretty well. YouTube plays, we're around 64,000 right now for our one song, Believe. It's the first song off the album. And it's going strong. I mean, we just hit, the guys just let me know that we hit we went up 20 points in the Billboard charts, and we're sitting at 161. There's five members of us. The co-founder of it with Brian Lawrenson, who plays bass, and with Lane Allen, who plays drums. And then they got me to do the vocals, and then they got a second guitar player. His name's Billy Schlump. So Lenny has quite a history. He goes back to the inception, the beginning of you're familiar with, most likely, with all the Minnesota bands. He is the founder of the band Hurricane Alice, which came out of here.
Oh, okay.
And Brian and Lane are from the band Dare Force, which was a big band. I've only been here for 2 years, so I'm just going by what they say. That's what they've told me. But great guys. We get together and we wrote the whole album together. We sat over at Lane's house and just hashed it out old school way, formulated the songs, and made it work, and then just went right in the studio and recorded it. And we recorded it live with those four guys out in the main room and me in a vocal booth. Wow. We just made eye contact and made sure we were all on our mark, and then overdubs and stuff like that. Any kind of background vocals or anything like that, we went in the studio and took care of separately.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you really kind of jumped in feet first, and you guys are already firing on all cylinders here. That's awesome. Yeah,
it's great. I couldn't ask for a better situation. I don't think anybody could. You walk into something and it just takes off like a rocket right off the bat. I even talked to Mark. You want your gig back? I feel bad because this thing just took off. I feel like I cheated him in a way.
Well, you mentioned the new album Eclipse. Can you talk a bit about the new album? It sounds like just walking into the studios, you guys kind of clicked right off the bat, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it took many a month for us to get together and formulate. Lenny pretty much had all of the riffs, and Lenny, Brian, and Lane pretty much had all the workings of it with Mark. But when I came in and Billy came in, we started switching things around a bit because we're new. I had written during the pandemic a song called Star, which is on the album. And Billy came in and wrote a song also for the album which is called Trail of Tears, and I wrote the lyrics for that one. The rest of the lyrics were co-written by myself and Lenny, again, because he had most of the bass down already. And then it was just picking it apart and making it work for my voice. You know, we dropped down a couple songs, we extended some songs, you know, so on and so forth. So, you know, we're talking October, November, December, about 3 months of us doing that before we went into the studio. So we were pretty confident with what we had. There were some changes in the studio, kind of on the fly. We're just like, hey guys, wouldn't this sound cool? Which we did, and it worked, which was fantastic. There are 10 songs on the album, and they run the gamut from, you know, you heard Believe. It's a heavier drop tune, kind of grungy tune, all the way to kind of like a Van Halen-ish type of thing, to pure on metal and some blues in a way. There's a song that we wrote called Trouble's Back in Trouble Again. It's very White Snakey, kind of a blues song. We wrote a song called Lockdown, which is obvious what that's about. And everybody had their experience with the lockdown, and yeah, it was good. It was really good. I'm glad. I'm really excited how they all formulated and how they came out in the studio, and I guess that people really liked it. Our record label, Dark Star, wants to hear the rest of the album. There's some fun stuff, you know.
Definitely, and it does seem like the new album a bit heavier than the first one. Was that because of what you brought to the band, or was that maybe adding Billy as a second guitarist, or was it a different decision to kind of get a little heavier on this one?
You know, it was a combination of it all. I mean, I am a heavier singer. I come from the Deep Purple school, you know, from the Dio school. I had a touring metal band called Kill Ritual, and, you know, we were out with Iced Earth and Sanctuary and Raven and, you know, a bunch of other bands. So they of course, you know, went through my catalog, and they're like, oh, he's a heavy metal singer. What's great is I didn't get pigeonholed with this band, but I definitely brought the heavier element to it. But I got to shine in a lot of the lighter stuff too, which I'm very excited for, because, you know, once you get into metal, you know, it's really hard to kind of get out of it in a way. You really get thrown into that camp of, yeah, this guy's a metal singer only. So what's nice is that, you know, it's almost like I'm in Van Halen in a way. We write all over the gamut, and it can be heavy, it can be light, we can have ballads, or, you know, whatever we want. And so that's a really nice thing. But yes, Billy coming into the band, definitely, he's a shredder. You know, he's 23 years old, but he comes from the George Lynch school. You know, he's very much into the heavier aspects of the 80s bands. So him and Lenny getting together, you know, they both have different styles. So when they both work together, it's quite a combination. And Lane, our drummer, you know, he comes from the Deep Purple school as well. He's kind of like a John Bonham type of Ian Pace kind of drummer, very heavy foot. And Brian, our bass player, is, you know, so when we decided to take it a little bit heavier and drop things down, there was nobody saying, I don't know. You know, it was just a natural progression. Mark, he's an amazing singer. He's kind of like the 80s hair kind of singer, though, you know,
Sure.
more along the Janie Lane type of vocalist.
Well, again, the new album from A Rising Force, Eclipse, is out now, and I know you guys got a lot of shows coming up here in Minnesota. I saw you're coming to Brainerd and Apple Valley, Fairmont, quite a lot of shows here for people to see you this summer.
Yeah, we actually take off tomorrow morning. We bought an RV, a big RV. It's got our name on it, and we are heading down to Iowa tomorrow in the AM to play at Q Casino. We'll be playing with Tesla there.
Okay.
And then we're going off to Missouri on Saturday because Missouri loves company, and we're playing at the Pageant, and we'll be playing there with Tesla as well before we do the Lakes Jam in the following week, and then we take off to Chicago with Tesla again. So yeah, we've got quite a few shows coming up this summer, and they keep rolling in. We keep on getting new ones every day that we will be announcing for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, again, the new album is just out, and you guys obviously are busy on tour here, but is there anything else maybe in the works we should be looking out for?
Album number 3. We've already started writing. We want to keep this train rolling, and the best way to keep a train rolling is to not stop writing and not get complacent. Although we will support this album, and we will support the first album as well. I mean, a lot of stuff that Mark did, we definitely are still working a lot of that. We did. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this or not, but Tony Martin for all the people in the Ukraine. So it's 10 different bands on that album, and we got to have one of our songs on it. And all the proceeds go to the people of the Ukraine to help them out.
Okay.
Because war sucks. I was in the Marines, and war sucks, and I hate to see these people go through what they're going through. So kudos to Tony Martin for doing this and taking all the proceeds and giving it to this charity. And I want to thank him for having us on the album for sure. I want to thank our record label Dark Star and our PR agency Chipster PR and all the guys in the band. We're gonna be moving. We're gonna be moving hard and fast, and I'm very excited.
Excellent. Well, again, Dave, thank you so much for your time. The new album sounds great, and it's great you guys are on the road here this summer, and I appreciate speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Dustin. Have a great evening.
And again, that was David Watson, singer for the band A Rising Force out of Minnesota. They've got several dates coming up here in Minnesota this summer, and their new album, Eclipse, is available now.